As we have a team kill spawning over here in the bottom left side of Blackburn. Give it up for Team NV's Bunny. And his opponent. Also for Team NV, give it up for our Blue Zerg DRG. I like this skin. Like, I don't know which skin this is, but the spiky overlord, it kind of feels like a guy who's like full of hot air because he was the hot shot in high school and he just never grew out of his punk rocker phase, so he just wears spikes everywhere. That's kind of what that skin reminds me of. I feel like Blizzard, whenever they decided to make a skin for this game, they would just say, okay, we've already done Mechanical Zerg. Now what we can do? What can we do? Yeah, just throw a couple spikes on it, call it new. We'll charge $5 for it. Nothing too crazy going on right now. We do have a standard Reaper fast expand. As the spawning pool is going to be finishing up here for DRG, Bunny just wants to get a little bit of information, sees the fact that it is indeed a hatch first, so that he's not freaking out at all over the possibility of a roach attack, because this is a relatively short map. It plays really well to those kind of plays, those aggressive all-ins. He's just going to shoo this away. As Reaper kind of poking around, having some fun. Behind this, it is just going to be the factory follow-up. So, again, nothing too crazy here. Just nice, solid Hellions, which is a pretty good choice. Although it is a little bit difficult to kind of get into the natural, so you do kind of have to play around the third base. Reaper a little bit out of position there, so he will not be able to get the cancel, but he will be able to get confirmation that this is indeed a normal game. Okay, Banshee follow-up. They're coming on down. Sorry, guys, just typing something out real quick. Work calling me. Gotta tell them to leave me alone. StarCraft 2 comes first. But yeah, this is a pretty good 1-2 punch here from Bunny. Just the fact that the Hellions can maintain map control while the Banshee goes in and does a little bit damage in the backfield. At the same time, DRG just has no idea what's coming his way just yet, as he hasn't sent anyone into the main base. Hey, no dissing the punk rocker. Yeah, sure, Scare. You're definitely punk rock. I've seen you, man. Just catching up on chat, but yeah, so far everything's going pretty standard here. Nothing really too much else to say, as these guys are just kind of powering up. DRG about to hit 50 workers, so that's pretty good indicator that he's going to be able to play it pretty defensive for the first couple of minutes, as Bunny is the one who's kind of has the magnum opus to attack. Now the Hellions do kind of hang around, as we do have very fast 1-1 upgrades. Still no sign of the NG base for Bunny. They're about halfway done. So that's going to be pretty good for DRG if he decides to take an engagement anytime soon. That's coming on in. Layer tech as well. The Banshee's going to finally be able to rotate in. They will get a little bit of information. Sees that the layer is not complete. Spore crawlers aren't finished just yet, so these queens are in a little bit of trouble, but instead just going to focus fire down at these drones, and this is actually fantastic amounts of damage. 8 workers going down so far, and the queen's got to be careful not to come too far forward. Now, the Ling's trying to get a surround on the Hellions, but he does get a cancel on that 4th base as well. Gonna clear up some of the creep while the Lings are distracted. Gets rid of most of the active tumors. The Banshees overextended just a little bit too much, and they will lose one of their comrades. Forcing the queens to come on forward just so that they can get that creep respread. The 3rd base has been dropped. In terms of production, he's still only on 3 racks here, so I would like to see him drop number 4 and 5 relatively soon, as it looks like he's getting ready for a little bit of a push out, as those siege tanks gonna help out quite a bit. And this is one thing I've noticed in like the last couple of weeks. Also, thank you, Constant A Mover, for the 100 bits. Is that, while I have seen some players still decide to go for Widow Mines, I've seen a lot more kind of transition into this siege tank style, very reminiscent of Wings of Liberty. But already, Buddy finding a beautiful position right here where he is taking an absolutely fantastic trade. The Queens running out of energy, so they will start to go down. He did lose one of the siege tanks in the back, but he still has some firepower helping him out. It's just a matter of how far does he decide to push. The answer is he really doesn't have to go too far forward because he doesn't want to fight on the creep. But DRG going to take this opportunity to go for a little bit of a counterattack, as his 4th base is not going to be mining anytime soon. Bunny gets some beautiful splits, so these Banelings not as effective as they could be, but he's still got to clean up the rest of the Lings, which he does. As I say that, more Lings come in, so now he's got to clean up these ones as well. Overall, relatively low amount of SCVs getting killed off here. There we go, 16 now with that Bane hit. He tries to drag the Widow Mines into his own units. The Lings still haven't been cleaned up, but neither has this attack from Bunny. The Hellbat just adding a lot of utility here. Looks like he can go straight for the siege tanks, though. They are completely undefended. He tried to catch one, but doesn't manage to get it. He will pick up and save a majority of his units, though. And actually, overall, the supplies are relatively even. 48 or 56 to 53 army supply. And now we get into the stage of the game where Bunny does have enough production that he can keep attacking and trade out. Especially since DRG has absolutely no additional units other than the Lings so far. That being said, though, he is finding a very good angle to attack into right now. Hitting before Bunny is really ready, dragging the Widow Mines into the SCVs as well. So solid little move out there, just trying to delay any sort of follow-up from Bunny. wood mine connection there, cleaning up some of the lings, but he is forced to pick up and get on out of there. DRG doesn't want to overextend here, I feel, as he does trade out quite a few of his lings. Clearing up some of the creep is pretty important, though, as it's getting very close to his own third. I like this. There's not a ton of lings out just yet, so he still has a little bit of a window where he can make these small drops work as it divides the forces up. Even finding a nice little location where he can find some room. The Widowmice getting dragged into his own unit, so a lot of friendly fire going on in. Marauder adding a little bit of utility here, just making sure that he can fight a little bit closer to home. The Queens cleared up the medevacs, so now these Marines are going to die. And DRG, he's not snowballing just yet, but it can very quickly turn into a snowball here, especially as Bunny doesn't really have a lot to defend his third base, as most of it is lifted up in the medevac. Even more SCVs are going to go down. Even more of these Marines are going to fall. The little addition of an Overlord there. He's a little bit too far away from home. Now Bunny is still just completely on the back foot, which means that DRG has the room to go up to Hive, to go up to Hydras, and potentially even Lurkers later on. Small drop getting ready to go on down as a big Baneling run by is getting set up near the 4th. That is enough to kill that planetary very, very quickly here, as Bunny just trying to find some damage wherever he can get it. Scan going to go down, revealing the 5th base location. And it looks like he's also going to set up around the 4th as a small Widow Mine drop tries to get a little bit done, but doesn't really find too much. Right now, it's just kind of there to distract the army while the main forces get into position. Aliens do manage to roll on in. The SCVs have retreated. The planetary actually staying alive for a little bit longer, so it does get a little bit of additional damage in. Oh, the Hydras, though, getting rid of the medevacs, and Bunny plummets in supply right now. You can kind of see he just says, to heck with it, I'm going to beat you in game number 2. In the bottom right side of Glittering Ashes for game number 2, give it up for our red Terran player. He is Bunny. And his opponents hanging out in the top side, looking to close things out. He is DRG. Obviously. I did plan to go so much further with that, but I'd like to keep some viewers, please. Looks like Bunny wants to keep his chances high, as he's just going to go straight in for the proxy. Now the question is, does Bunny, or does DRG get a scout of it? He's already very suspicious. What's coming his way? And there we go. He sees absolutely everything, so he just instantly forces a cancel, turning this into a 2-racks. Gonna add on the English, terrible, never use it. Refinery very late. So that tells me that yeah, he's trying to transition out of it now. Instead, gonna go for a factory behind it. see what he can get done first. Drones are pulled, so the defense has begun, but Bunny is staying back with his first couple of Marines, waiting for them to sync up before he decides to go in. First bunker has begun as the SCV is just looking to buffer for that Marine. So far it looks like DRG is just going to decide not to engage into this. He was waiting for his Lings, but now he's going to go for the full surround. Good focus fire by Bunny is going to prevent too many of those Lings lasting, but unfortunately he gets completely cleaned up here. And the bunker just instants away from finishing. Does not complete. So this attack pretty much dead in the water. And this is where... Okay, never mind. DRG takes the game, he takes the series, and he moves on to his qualifying match.